This is not my first time being at Landmark. It will surprise many of you. This is not my first time being at Landmark. The first time I was in Landmark was in Campus A in 2022 when I was a guest speaker during the social media and entrepreneurship seminar. So Landmark is my home, and I'm so happy to be back here today to share another session with co-travelers, co-dreamers, and amazing leaders who are passing through this platform. And today we want to discuss something which is very important as far as our lives, our destinies are concerned, and that is on dreaming again. To dream again, beyond fear, beyond culture, and beyond problems. Beyond fear, beyond culture, and beyond problems. I'll tell you a little story. Years back, I used to be with my mom in an amazing village called Bafmen. And one night I had a dream, and I saw that I had so much money. There was these big bags of money all over me, and it was such an amazing experience. I could buy anything I needed. Everything was just beautiful. And then when I woke up from that particular dream, I saw myself lying down again in the bamboo bed in our village. I was so angry, I was so frustrated that I decided to go back to the dream just so that I could go back to that experience I was just having. And today, I want us to discuss something which is very important to our lives as emerging leaders, and that is on our dreams. I want to tell you a story about an amazing man called William Kakwambi. Now, this is a Malawian engineer and an author who came from a small village in Wembe, Malawi. From a very poor background, Kakwambi could not complete his academics due to financial constraints. So Kakwambi dropped out and decided that he was going to teach himself engineering by studying in the library on his own. Kakwambi, through reading engineering books in the library, was able to fix the first windmill that provided water and electricity to his people. And his story became a movie on Netflix, which we know as The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. It became a TEDx talk, and it even became a book. Kakwambi only needed to gather gum tree materials, bicycle materials, and also local scrap materials he got from a garage in his neighborhood. Now, Kakwambi, though coming from a very poor background that could not even afford him education, was able to provide some sort of comfort to the people of his village. And in January 26, 1996, two Stanford University students known as Larry Page and Sergey Brin embarked on a research study which became the child of what we enjoy today known as Google. I can go on to tell you about people like Strive Masiwa, who was born by a single mom, came from a very low background, and then eventually built his company Econet Wireless, and today he's a multi-billionaire funding education for young people across Africa. We can talk about the amazing Rebecca Enochong, who is her own Cameroonian lady, who came from an average family too, and founded a company Appstech, which today is providing software services for over 50 clients across 50 countries. And today she's a leading voice when it comes to STEM for ladies in Africa. All of these people probably came from backgrounds like you and I, from countries, from cultures, from environments where they had every other reason not to embark on the things that they wanted to do. And so that is why today we just want to have this conversation on dreaming again. Because as a people, we are caught up in the mix of fear, in the mix of cultures, and in the mix of a lot of problems. Now, the ability to dream is God's gift to you. I want you to say that to somebody. The ability to dream is God's gift to you. Now, if you are not a shepherd of an idea like Elon Musk saying you want to go to Mars, it may look very simple. But when you begin to think about people like Elon Musk, where human beings say, okay, let us go to Mars, it takes a lot of craziness for such a dream to be there. Years ago, probably somebody looked so crazy when he said we should stop moving on food. Why don't we invent cars so that we can give speed and efficiency to our lives? And that crazy dream became a reality. And the Wright brothers went as far and said, why are we just using cars? Why don't we even fly like the birds of the sky? And they brought up the helicopters. To dream is God's gift to every human being. And while we sit here today, we must not allow ourselves to be crippled by culture, by fear. We must be able to see beyond the boundaries of our limitation, our geography, our economics, and even our governments. Because you and I have been given the same privilege like every other person on earth who had the same challenges, but they dare to dream. Now, the human mind is so amazing that it is God's incredible gift to everybody. While we stood outside and we looked across the building and just seen the amazing work of engineering, I told some of my leaders, I said, this is amazing. Can you imagine how people can sit down and bring up inventions that can make life so easy? How does a human being able to conceive all of these things? Now, you and I may think we are not special, or maybe this is a reserve for certain kind of engineers and people who are given to certain kinds of special genius, but that is not true. All you and I have to do is to have the capacity to host the dream that God is bringing to us. Because whether you like it or not, there is something that is driving you beyond your family, beyond your geography. And every day of your life, God is going to be visiting you with dreams which are supposed to look beyond your natural comfort and just your immediate environment. Now, when dreams come to you, they are not just coming to you to buy a car, to build a house, and to be able to have 2 children and an apartment. When dreams come to you, they are coming to a generation. It means that God will give you an idea and you become a custodian and a shepherd of that idea so that a generation can become better. Think about Facebook. We are here today, we can communicate and see people and keep the energy of global engagement just because one crazy guy called Mark Zuckerberg years ago at Harvard was able to say, no, we can connect beyond our natural environment. We can connect beyond our immediate geography. And so, you and I can dream again. Now, I'm not here to motivate you. Because every time we say things like this, people may just think, okay, maybe it's just for me to think about something. But all I'm saying to you is, as a human being, in your human condition, it is God's assignment to bring to you dreams which are for the betterment and the advancement of society and your community. What we do is that when those dreams come to us, number one, we resist them. We say, I'm not good enough. I'm not special enough. I'm not a genius. I didn't do engineering. What can I do about all of these things? But when dreams come to you, you must have the wisdom and the protocol of hosting your dreams. Now, every time a dream comes to you, the first thing is that you must accept that dream even if it doesn't make sense. If you sit here today and you imagine that one day there is a possibility where we can have some sort of efficiency in moving beyond flying, that dream is possible. It is possible. There are 2 scientists in the world right now who are working on a project called the death of death. Their argument is that they are working on a research project where by 2050, you will be the one who will decide how to die. And what they are arguing is that people will only die in the future by accidents because they will be able to bring up science and technology and all of this intelligence that can 3D print every part of the human body. So they are arguing that in the future, even death will be something you can choose to do. Now, this is the advancement of the human mind and the energy of people who are doing everything possible so that they can be advancement in society. We are seated here today because of the dream of somebody. You and I are being built for our careers and our lives because somebody dared to dream. And so when your dream comes to you, it may not make sense. Your family may not fund it. Nobody may be able to give you capital, but you need to receive it. Now, when a dream comes to you, a dream is like a guest. How many of you have received guests in your house? I remember growing up, I used to see my mother or our elders do something. When people come to the house in our villages, we used to have this collage of pictures. Those we call it the album. How many of you have seen the album pictures before the internet where we have pictures now? So when a guest comes, they will give you the album and then you're glancing through the album. When a guest comes to you, you sit them down, you entertain them, you give them your energy, you give them your time, you give them your resources. When dreams come to you, they visit you, you must be able to host them and entertain them. So something can look very crazy, but you need to accept and receive it. Because that thing which is coming to you is a possibility within the human condition and by God's gifts and privilege to you. So every dream you have right now while you're on this campus, you must host it, entertain it, give it your energy, give it your time, and give it even your resources. So let me ask you, what's driving you while you're on this campus? Is there something driving you while you're on this campus? Are you just here to get a degree so that you can at least say, I have a certificate? Are you just here so that you can fulfill the dreams of your parents, so that it can be some sort of prestige that there is a degree holder or an engineer from your family? Or is there something that while you walk to the campus and every time you take a taxi from Malingo coming to this place, something is driving you beyond even what the teacher is telling you? Now, let me tell you this, my dear friends. You could be in this campus today studying accounting, but there is a dream in your heart to become somebody who is providing mental health and rehabilitation for those who have been given to drugs in our communities. You can be in this room today studying engineering, but there is a dream in your heart which is to be able to give you the privilege tomorrow to help us understand how we can better manage waste in our society. I want to tell you that you must think beyond even what you're being taught and what you're being shown, because people can only give you to the degree of what they have seen. But when God visits you, He gives an elastic view or an inelastic view of everything that you can never imagine. What's driving you? Ask the person beside you, what's driving you on this campus? What's driving you on this campus? What's driving you on this campus? Now, they are enemies of our dreams. They are enemies of our dreams. Just like any idea, just like any innovation, just like any vision, they are enemies of our dreams. And I'll quickly talk to you about those enemies. The first of those enemies is fear. Fear. Now, in the Second World War, there was a medic by name Desmond Doss. Desmond Doss at the battlefield at Husker Hill saw so many killings. As a matter of fact, the most intelligent and skilled military veterans retreated from that battlefield because it was so violent. Most of them, when they recovered, they said they knew they were going to die. But when they finally called for a retreat, all of them began to retreat back to the cliffs. But Desmond Doss saw that there was these soldiers who were wounded at the battlefield. Desmond Doss prayed the prayer within him and he said, "Oh Lord, all I want for you is to give me a little privilege that I can save just one more person." Desmond Doss began to move back into the battlefield and began to rescue some of the soldiers. He will take them back to the cliff, and with a rope they will lower them down. Take them back to the cliff and they will lower them down. Do you know that by the time Desmond Doss finally collapsed from exhaustion, he had actually saved 75 men? Now Desmond Doss did not move into the battlefield because he was fearless. It wasn't because there was nothing to fear about. He moved because the voice of purpose may be stronger than the voice of your fears. Are you getting? It means while we sit here today, our fears may be genuine. Maybe where you came from, there is nobody who is able to help you. So you are scared of engaging the ideas that God is putting in your heart. But sometimes you must understand that whatever comes to you is because you have the capacity to do it even beyond your natural environment. And so when you embrace the dream God is bringing to you, you will soon find out that the people who are designed to lift you or to partner with those dreams sometimes will not be those who you are expecting. Somebody say goodbye to fear. Say goodbye to fear. Goodbye to fear. Let's talk about culture. There is a parable of the elephant and the bucket. Now, those who train elephants have something they do. When they give birth to an elephant, what they will simply do is that they will take that elephant as a baby and they will begin to tie that elephant to a large trunk of tree. Now, the baby elephant tries to pull out of that large trunk of tree and she cannot. And then after a period of 3 months, while doing that, they will now loose the elephant from that large trunk of tree, and they can even allow the elephant with just the chain or with just a little bucket or with just a little chair. Now the elephant has been conditioned to believe that it cannot move out of that place. So even though what it is being tied to is a bucket or it is just a little chair right now, the elephant cannot move again because number one, it has been conditioned, and then number two, it has learned helplessness. You and I are like that sometimes. We come from cultures, from families, from environments, from sometimes institutions where we have been learned and we have been conditioned helplessness. There are things that we believe we cannot do just because we are Cameroonians. When they said, is Cameroon going to change? I heard some people say no. It's not our fault. It's because sometimes the culture is trying to tell us so. But you and I must see beyond that culture. You and I must see beyond where we have been prevailed and we have been tied down. Hello? Say, I see beyond my fears. I see beyond my culture. I see beyond my geography. I see beyond my environment. And let me talk to you about problems, which is part of the things you're going to face as a dreamer, maybe as an engineer, as somebody who is thinking of building a next social media platform. You and I are caught up in an infrastructure where we struggle with epileptic power supply, where sometimes the network services we enjoy are like a woman who is running, a pregnant woman running mood swings. It comes and it just goes, and you can't understand what is happening. We are caught up with many problems which are plaguing our infrastructure, and this makes it difficult for us to be able to sometimes achieve the dreams that we want to achieve. I have been able to sometimes understand just the pain it takes to build a tech education platform in Cameroon for myself. Because sometimes when you're trying to have a meeting with an investor, a partner, or with somebody out there, the network is on epileptic mode. But though we have these problems, what are we going to do? Are we going to allow them just make us complain or keep complaining? So what is next? What is next? Though our fear, our culture, and our problems are there, what is next is this. We must take up personal responsibility. Somebody say personal responsibility. Personal responsibility. And you must take up personal responsibility, number one, for your self-awareness. Fishes don't take swimming lessons. Birds don't take flying lessons. Monkeys don't write curriculum vitae. This is because all they do is to stay in their design and they excel in it. I know you are in this campus, you could be studying engineering, accountancy. You must not limit yourself to just the thing you're studying, because there is a design and a potential installed in you as installed capacity which you must give expression to. So you must become very aware of who you are. There are people in this room today, you are doing engineering, but when you speak to people, they just feel better because there is something about you that brings comfort to their soul. So you must become self-aware of the things you can do. You must take up responsibility for your personal growth. Personal growth. If weeks and years pass by and you remain the same person, then you're not growing. The only thing that should be growing in your life should not be your age. You need to ensure that every passage of the months and the years, you are growing in your intellectual capacity, in your communication skills, your negotiation skills, in your interrelational skills with people. Personal responsibility. You must form critical alliances. There is nothing on earth you can do without critical alliances. Everything you see outside your every decision is a work of faithful partners who are putting their energy and resources together. How many of you are football fans? You understand that the beautiful Barcelona and the Messi we talk about is a synergy of Xavi and Iniesta. And for those of you who are Real Madrid and Ronaldo fans, you understand the place of the Benzemas and all of that. Everybody across history who had advanced the course of anything at all needed to form critical alliances. You cannot just be on campus here for just yourself. There are people you're sitting next to. Both of you have a role to play in your destiny tomorrow. God brought you together not just because you are to be friends, but because there could be something planted between the two of you. And so, just like the Bible is said, it is God that orders the steps of the righteous. So every time you engage people on this campus, you must form critical alliances. You must have your own networks of people that you're working with. Are you getting me? And the last, you have to do the work. Say, do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. There is a quote I love so much by Roosevelt. And because of time, I will not read it. But all he's saying is that it is not a critic who counts. You can read it while I speak to you. It is not a man who sits down and complains who counts. It is not a man who says, this nation is going bad, that counts. It is a man who goes out into the arena. It is a man whose faith is marred by dust and blood and the sweat, who on account of everything should actually give up. But the man still goes ahead to know that he has to achieve something. He must do what he's supposed to do, even at the worst. And if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly. And even if he succeeds, he did so while daring greatly. So that his soul will never be among the timid And the cold souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Those who don't engage anything in life will neither know victory nor defeat. If you have an idea to build an app right here in this room, go and build it. If it doesn't work, at least you have known what it means to be defeated. You have now learned what it means for something not to work, and you can know what to do when, what next that will work. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So you have to do the work. Tell somebody to do the work.
Do the work.
Now, this is my last call to you. My last call to you. Beyond everything I've said, it is just a limitation, and it cannot be compared to the excellence of what God has for you in store. I know when we come like this, we can have plans for 4 GPA. We have goals we have set in our diaries and all of that. But let me tell you this. It is God that has the most beautiful dreams for you. Can we all read this together? For I know
The plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and the future.
So God is the ultimate giver of plans and the future. I allow you to dream. I encourage you to build your goals. But if you are in this room today and all you want to limit yourself to is your human capacity, there are things you cannot do. There are things you will not be able to give expression to. So I invite you, my dear friends, to add to the excellence of this prestigious institution, the knowledge, the academics, the excellence that God gives to you, which is by being the one who gives you strength, wisdom, intelligence, knowledge to plan. Everything I've been able to do today and I dream to do, I know it is going to be because God is going to help me. And so I want to invite you, if you're in this room and probably you've never made any of that decision. You say, God, maybe I'm just this kind of crazy guy, this kind of crazy lady whom may have not really taken you that serious. But I want to come to you today and say, despite my excellence, I want to add God to my degree. I want to add God to my engineering, to my accountancy, to my nursing career. I want to add God to it. If you're in this room today, I want you to just put up your hand like that. If you're in this room today, just sit but put up your hand, my dear friends. Don't be embarrassed about it. This is the greatest thing that can happen to anybody. If you're in this room today and you want to say and you want to accept that call and to tell God, I want to add it to my degree program. I want to add it to my life, to my dreams, to my aspirations. I know I'm gifted, I'm talented, I'm skilled. I have all of these beautiful people around me. But there's something I know only you can do for me. Let me just see you and wave it. Okay. Right now, let's say a prayer quickly. While your hand is still up, please. For those friends. Say, Father, I come to you today. I acknowledge that you're sovereign and you're my God. I know I'm skilled. I know I'm intelligent. I know I'm talented. I know I'm being trained in this school. But more than that, I know there is nothing I can achieve without your excellence, without your power, without your grace. Therefore, I come to you today and I acknowledge that you are my source, you are my strength, and you are my wisdom. I receive into my life. I receive into my heart. I want to work with you. I want to partner with you. Help me when I'm weak. Teach me when I'm confused. Give me wisdom when I don't know what to do. In Jesus' mighty name. Can you just come on?